Welcome everybody to the Josiah's Experience. Today we're gonna have the core theme is gonna be goal setting, and I had a realization today, this morning when I was at the beach. I realized that you know how goal setting like sometimes doesn't make sense, right? It's like
Mhm.
okay, it's hard,
Yes. Yes.
but I realized I put together the goal setting with subconscious, and then I put two things together. I had a breakthrough today. Goal setting, and then you have the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind is actually 90%. It's like a computer in your head. It does everything. The conscious mind is what we're doing right now. Is
Okay.
how we have our conscious choices. The reason that we do goal setting is because we have to tell the machine, the subconscious mind, what to do. So when you tell your subconscious mind, like for example for you, like you want to start a podcast, you just like, let's start a podcast.
Mhm.
You tell your subconscious mind what to do. You have to guide it,
Mhm.
because
Yes.
it's like a missile. It goes
Yes.
somewhere. If you don't tell it what to do, then it will do what it was already told to do in your past.
Okay. Okay.
So that's why Tony Robbins has his analogy of awaken the giant within, because the
Okay.
subconscious mind is like the most powerful thing. Like but you have to learn to control it. You have to learn to tame it.
Okay.
If you don't tame it, it's like another analogy is the dragon, right? You
Okay.
remember How to Train Your Dragon, or like Game of Thrones? So you approach your dragon with care. Like you don't just like, it's like,
Yes.
here's the
Yes.
dragon, let me get
Yes.
on the dragon.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You're
And
carefully
precautions. Yeah.
you carefully touch you like, hey drag, you know. And then it's actually the same thing as the shadow. Have you ever heard of the shadow self, shadow work?
Yes. Yes.
It's the
Yes.
same thing. It's like anger.
Mm.
A lot of people say like anger is bad. Anger is like something to not engage in. But anger, you should not like destroy or get rid of it. Like you just have to aim it to the right place.
Okay. Like every other emotion, right?
Yes, exactly. And the emotions are fuel. The subconscious mind is the engine, and then your conscious mind is the engineer. Yeah, so the emotions are the energy, the fuel, the power. The engine is the subconscious mind. That's the engine, and you are the driver.
The conscious.
The conscious, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but this is the conscious. We are conscious here. We are
Yes.
we are in
Yes. Yes.
consciousness. So that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking today. What do you give me your
Yes.
what do you think about that?
Uh, it's funny that you mentioned anger because I was talking to Adriana about it.
Hmm.
That's the only emotion that I don't allow me to express. Hello.
Welcome, Brenda.
That don't allow me to express. Do you want to?
Oh yeah, Brenda. So we're how you doing? Hey,
Hello.
hey,
Hello. Shuyen and Joe. Yeah. Hello, Brenda. Welcome.
so we have a few more people joining in, like a couple of people from the crew, as well, and we're speaking about. Let me just give you a quick summary. So today's theme is goal setting, and so the reason for goal setting is like the subconscious mind is 90% of your brain. It's like 90% of you. Like so, you have your conscious mind, which is this, we're conscious. Then the subconscious mind. The reason for goal setting is because we have to tell the subconscious mind what to do. Otherwise, it will do what it's been told to do in the past. So I just had this breakthrough recently that we have to keep this in the forefront of our conscious mind all the time, because then we'll lose track of it. The subconscious will take over, or the ego, and then also, so the subconscious mind is the engine, the conscious mind, this is the driver or the engineer, and then the fuel is the emotions. And this is what we've been talking about. Like Tony talks about awaken the giant. The giant is the subconscious. The dragon is the subconscious, how to train your dragon. The shadow work, the shadow self is the subconscious. That's why we're talking about. So Suyan, go ahead and say what you were gonna say.
Yeah, so that you mentioned about anger, because anger is the only emotion that I always try not to express. Like I hold that to myself, and then comes blame, right? And then I'm in a conflict. So it's hard, right? But no, that's something else, right? That's the shadow things that I have to do, whatever. And then I'm totally agree with what you say, the conscious and the unconscious mind. And usually, for example, let's say I have a lot of things. I say, oh my God, I have a lot of things to do this day. Oh my God. And then I ended up doing anything, right? Why? Because I never tell to my brain or to my unconscious self, no, you have to do this, this, to make a list of the things. And then when I do that, it's more easier because I already know what I have to do. Like my brain is not looking all the way, trying to figure out what to do.
Right.
So I think it's very important to write down your goals or your intention of the day and your goals, and then go from there. And then fit those goals with the habits that need to be done to get to the goals.
Yeah, so let me just refresh for Adriana and Monica, welcome. So today I had a breakthrough today, or this was last night. I had this breakthrough, and this morning I had a little more from it. I had a glimpse yesterday, and today I had the big breakthrough. And then that is basically that your subconscious mind is that dragon, from Game of Thrones. Your subconscious mind is that giant that Tony Robbins was talking about awakening in his book. The same thing as the shadow self is the subconscious mind. It is an engine. It is like a vehicle. Your subconscious mind, this right here is consciousness. This is your conscious mind. This is what we are here. We are conscious minds. We are conscious. And then the emotions are the fuel. Happiness, anger, sadness, like all the emotions are fuel. They're energy. So you need the fuel to put into the vehicle or the dragon or the shadow, and then the conscious mind. The reason for goal setting is because we have to tell the subconscious mind what to do. Otherwise it will continue doing what it's been told to do in the past by yourself and by your family, by your friends, by your teachers, by the TV, by YouTube, by all those people. It will continue to do those things. So whenever you have like anger, people talk about anger or sadness are like bad things, but they're just a type of fuel. And like it's not about like getting rid of it, but you have to aim it at the right place. So that's just a little refresher there. Brenda, did you have anything to say there? Or oh, by the way, this is Brenda, Adriana, Monica. Monica is Monica. We lost Monica again. Maybe she has back pain. So Brenda, introduce yourself. Where you from? And then Adriana, you guys introduce yourself, and then we'll get into the topic.
Alrighty. Hi guys, I'm Brenda. I was born in Guatemala. I raised in New York, but now I live in Anchorage, Alaska.
Ooh.
And I've been a member of Tony Robbins since December of 2022. I was part of the Stanford University program, which was we were able to be there for like a whole year. And it was a great program. It's where I started learning about discovering who I am, discovering my true identity, discovering what I am made for, what my mission. I get goosebumps just talking about it, But through Tony Robbins, this is where I became more aware of, that I was just living to live a life. It was in living a life of just, a day-to-day thing, And it makes me sad because it's like, if I would have known everything that I've discovered in December of 2022, I would have been so successful by now. But it's okay, because this is what is life. Life is about, not regretting your past, but learning your present and growing from it, and your past experiences is what you built yourself through, right?
That's crazy. You're in Alaska? That's more interesting than this conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, we're up here. It's summertime. You can't see the outside, but the snow is gone by now. And what you're talking about, Joe, about finding your goal settings and stuff. I'm the type of person that I see a squirrel and I'm like, squirrel, and my focus leaves.
Yes.
So it's kind of like we have to learn how to take control of our conscious and our subconscious, because when we can't control our subconscious, you see that little shiny object and it's like everything goes downhill. And it's like you want to change because I want to change, and this is me, this is my story. I want to change. I want to be productive. I want to be, successful, especially now that I'm 45. 45 is like I'm halfway there. I don't know when my last day is going to be, but I want to leave that legacy for my children. My children are 20 now, and I'm like, if you know what I'm learning right now, you will be so successful by the time you're my age, and that's what I want for my kids, you guys.
Yeah. So
thank you for putting this Zoom together.
Yeah, for sure. And just for perspective, it's so you're more than halfway there probably, because the lifespan is about 28,000 days on average, and that's 4,000 weeks. So if you take a look at that, so you're already in midlife. You're already past midlife, past the midpoint. If you make it to 80, that means you're like, you got about 35 years left, about 35 years left. You could make it to 100 maybe, but the average.
That is my goal, though. I want to reach 90 something. I don't want to die at 60, 70.
Right.
My mom passed away at 70, and I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, shit, I'm 45. By 70, I have like 15 years left to give my children the knowledge that I have right now so they can be successful in their lives.
Right, exactly. So, but instead of like, you know what I mean? Like, another way to look at it is, instead of like, if you're not doing all you can do right now, then why live longer? Everybody's gonna die, right? We're all gonna die at some point. So, because this is a shift that I have recently too. It's like, well, why am I so focused on being afraid of death when instead I should be focused on leveling up to, like, if I die, like I will be proud, or God will be proud of me, or my parents will be proud of me when I'm gone. Because this is rented. This body is rented. It's gone. It's gonna leave. So, Adriana, do you have anything to say on the topic? Welcome.
I think, thank you, Joe. I think that one of the best way that we teach our children, and I'm around the same age, is just by learning it ourselves. I think that I myself, I'm always trying to feed my kid as much information as quickly as possible. And in reality, they learn it just by observing. There isn't really much that I need to do other than learn it myself, because I already have the foundation. I already have the couple of years of experience that they don't. And for me, speaking for myself specifically, and my kids who are around the same age, one is 20, about to be 21, and then, well, the one is about to be 19. I try to give them so much information that at some point they're like, start rejecting it. They're like, this is too much. This is too much. You go learn it. You go do that thing, and I'm gonna do me right here. And then I realized that I probably wouldn't have learned as much as I have if I didn't go through some of the foundation stuff that I went through. So.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So and here are some more insights that I was thinking about this morning. So energy types, right? We just talked about energy types. The class clown. Think about the class clown. What is that energy? Why does the class clown do the clowning in class? Because his classmates are laughing. He is bringing joy to his classmates. He is getting a rise out of the teacher. So the classmates are enjoying themselves. The class clown is enjoying himself. He's getting energy. They're producing energy here. So that's the reason that he's doing that. That he's getting that energy. Here's something. Shadow integration by Jung. Integrating that shadow, right? So what does that mean to you? So integrating that shadow, because I've been trying to put this together. I would like to brainstorm with you guys. Integrating the shadow, and like Brenda said earlier, she said that there's that like that mosquito, that distraction, it comes, and then you literally forget. That is the subconscious mind going back to what it knows how to do, what it's been told to do before. It's like that's why the goal setting, that's why we need to take goal setting really seriously. Goal setting and achievement, to be completely focused. Where focus goes, energy flows, but you have to really like take the tunnel, get in a tunnel form, to where like you can see from here, this is you and this is your goal, and you can only see the goal and what's in between you and the goal. Anything else can't matter. It cannot matter if you really care about like accomplishing that thing. For example, if it's like losing weight, if it's like getting in shape, if it's like making money, we have to be able to see the goal and stay on the goal. If we deviate a little bit, we have to get right. We're gonna deviate.
Yeah.
A rocket is on the way to the moon. It's off track 99% of the time. It needs the gyroscope to keep it on track. So we constantly, we're gonna get off track, but we have to like constantly like tell it, hey, no, this is what I'm doing. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Every single day, this is what I'm doing. Right?
Yes.
We're gonna get off track, like Brenda says, like the distractions are there every day. But we have to keep telling ourselves, we have to keep telling the subconscious, this is what I'm doing and I'm not deviating from it. Yes, you can take a break, take a cheat day, or get distracted by something else. Yes, that happens. But you have to get back on track every single day. If you don't do that, then you'll eventually end up in Alaska.
So how do you do it? How do you keep the focus?
Well, I shoot that right back to you, Xuyen. How do you keep the focus? Do you remember a time in your life where like you deviated from something, you had a goal, you deviated, and then you told yourself, let me get right back to it?
Yes.
So tell me about that. Tell me that.
So there is a thing for me for setting goals. First, don't go crazy like setting like 20 goals. No, just reduce the goals, like 3 goals, let's say, per year, right? Goals that are gonna impact yourself, goals that are valuable to you, goals that are attached to your identity, and then you write down those goals, and then you write a plan, and then you have to see it all day, all of the day. You have to see where it is. Like you have to have not just in your mind, but in front of you, things that are related to the goals, because then you're gonna lose track. Like let's say I want to learn to play guitar, but my guitar is in the closet. No, I have to put the guitar in the center of the living room, and at least 10 minutes every day practicing guitar. So
Right.
at the end, I'm gonna learn the guitar, right?
Yes.
So then write down your goals, make a plan, have it in there, visualize it, right? And then create habits that will fit those goals. And
Right.
I guess that's the harder part, because you have to leave behind all the habits, right? And you have to work around your day, your dynamic. I guess creating new habits is the hardest part.
Yeah, it's like the book Atomic Habits. If you haven't read it, it's a good book to read. It's getting rid of the distractions, creating your environment around your goal.
Yes.
Like you don't try to make like your goal happen like with the distractions. For example, if you want to lose weight, get rid of all the processed food from the house. Take it out,
Yes.
and then just leave all the healthy food in the house. If you want to make money, get rid of all the distractions, get rid of all of the hobbies, all the, you can
Spending.
you can
Yes.
still do it. But besides all that, like the most important thing is like being able to do that, being able to have the energy. I think the not only the environment but the association. Who are your friends? Who are you
Yes.
talking to, and what are they telling you every single day? Is it conducive to the goals that you want? If not, you might need new friends. Maybe temporarily, but
That's why.
yeah.
That's why it's the hardest part, because when you are trying to change your life,
Hmm.
you know that you start to realize the things that you have to leave behind. Most of the time, it's friends and family, and that hurts. Like that's hard to do, right?
Yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
really hard to do.
Jeff Olson says that most people. I don't know who says this. Maybe this is from a study or something, but says most people fail in life because they listen to their friends, family, and neighbors. They keep listening to their friends, family, and neighbors. That's why most people fail in life. So you have to be able to like love your family, but pick your peer group. That's what Tony says. Pick your peer
Yes,
group.
yes.
Look, Brenda. I think
This
Brenda's
is what
having
we're
a.
doing now.
Brenda's having a.
I
Yeah.
hear you, Susan. I heard you about when you talk about your family. I left my family a long time ago, 20 years ago. I came to Alaska through the military. That's the only reason why I'm here. And then I created my own family here. I flew away, like the Bible says, once you build your family, it's like you leave your parents behind, you leave everyone else behind, right? And you create your own family, your own journey, right? And it's kind of like I miss my family, I miss my dad, I miss my brothers, but I'm here in a land that I don't know anyone, and that's the only reason why. But here's the other thing that I learned from you, Joe, just now by listening. When you're setting your goal, one of my goals was to retire as a military. I did my military a career. I retired after 20 plus years of service. That was my goal.
Mm.
The thing
Wow.
that I messed up on, which is okay now because I'm learning from it, and now I can help others not create the same, error. I can give my voice to others and be like, hey, if you're gonna join the Army and you're gonna make this a career, make sure that you're leveling up. That every 2-3 years you're finding a way to go to the next level, to not stay just where you're at, to not just be average, to not just be, just do the bare minimum. Because that was
Yes.
me. That was
Yes.
my old story. Doing the bare minimum, just living life, just surviving day by day.
Yeah.
And I don't want that for others. I want others to succeed. I want others to be better than I was, And so that was my learning lesson. And so that's what I want to give to the world now. This is my mission. My mission is that, okay, I was married for 17 years, and unfortunately, I had a divorce, Did I wanted a divorce? No, I wanted to be a lifelong marriage, die until we die, but it didn't work, but that's okay, because from it, I've learned to love myself. I've learned to grow as a person, to discover who I am, right? And so what do I get from it? What can I give back to the world? Hey, if this happens to you, don't feel bad about yourself. Pick up yourself, love yourself, nourish yourself, and go forward. Give back. So that's all. I appreciate this Zoom because it gives me the opportunity to share a little bit about myself, and then also at the same time listen to your guys' stories and your lessons.
For sure, yeah. So and a good thing, like for me as well, like it's especially, it's getting back on track always, getting back on track, having the clear goal, and then getting back on track. And then sometimes you might feel like, oh man, I'm way off track now. Well, just get back on, like that. Just
Yeah.
get back on. Like it's really not that hard, but it's an excuse. Like we just give ourselves an excuse, like, oh well, I'm behind, or like no, like you just got off track. You hit a side quest. You went and did a side quest, but now let's get back to the main quest. Like, what is the main quest now? And it could change too, but like the main thing, what is money, love, power, whatever it is for you. There's always like a main theme in your life, and then what is that? That's where the compass is leading you to. So get back on that thing. I mean, it's super simple, but it's not easy. It's simple. It's easy to do, easy not to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you say, okay, well, I'm far off, let's get back on track. Let's get back on. Yeah. But Xuyen, I wanted to hit on what you said because I asked you to tell me a story, and you gave me a framework, but I want to hear the story of how you did it, or how you did, or if Adriana has one, or Brenda. I want a story from one of you, like to give me an example of like one time that you got off track on your big goal, and how you got back on track and you accomplished it. Remember that. Remember a story of how you did that, and share it with the group. Remember that time. Remember that time, and just interrupt me when you have it, because I want to hear a story. Remember a story when you got off track. You had a big goal in mind. You got off track. You thought you were behind, but then you got back on and you decided, I'm going to do this no matter what. And then you got back on track and then you did it. You worked and you worked and you worked. Go ahead, Brenda.
I would say, like, my story about the 20 years of service, there was a moment where when I went to this unit, I felt like my senior leader didn't believe in my what I can give, right? And I confronted them, I was like, hey, listen, if you don't like the way I do stuff or the way I work, don't throw all my career through the garbage, because I worked this hard to be here where I am now, I might be doing bare minimum, but I'm a hard worker. And my goal is to finish my 20 years in the service. And not just because you don't want me to do it. If you don't want me here in this company, send me somewhere else. I had to stand up for myself. I had to get that courage and speak up for myself, And so, yes, at the moment, it was hurtful. I would cry in my office, I'd be like, why me? Why are they attacking me? I would think that it was towards me, But I was so grateful that I fought for it. And I was like, you know what? No, listen, I work hard and I'm doing my best. And if you don't like it, then teach me how to do it correctly. And if you can't teach me, send me somewhere else where someone else can actually, tell me how to do things better. But yeah, that made me go back on track and keep going towards my goal, which was retiring after 20 plus years of service. So I'm grateful. I'm so happy that I was able to do it and complete that goal.
Okay, do you have your story, Xuyen or Adriana?
Okay, I have a couple. For example, you know that I love photography, right? And I was like, should I make a business for photography? I don't know. I'm not sure, because it's just a hobby, it's a passion, right? But when the part of business come, I'm like, I don't like that, right? I don't like the business part. So, long story short, I just I say, okay, I need to master the cameras and all the things, right? And I did, right? I did. But it was hard for me because I was not putting all the time to it, right? So one day I just went out and one person saw the camera and said, you are a photographer? I'm, oh, yes. And that person became my client somehow. So, the opportunity was there. But if I wouldn't go out by myself with a camera, because that was another thing, like, if you are a photographer, be with your camera all day, right? But I wasn't, because I was afraid to show that I'm a photographer, right? And then I dared to go with my camera everywhere, not for asking for a job, and then the opportunity just came, like, boom. So from there, I have a couple clients for restaurants and stuff like that. And it was hard for me to believe that I could do that. It was very hard for me to believe that maybe I can do a business for photography. And It was about believing in me, right?
Okay, and did you do it?
Yes, I did. And I enjoy it. But I don't like the business part of it. I rather to keep it as a hobby and a passion.
Okay.
Than to a business, yeah.
Adriana, I know you got a story. I know you got a crazy one. I know you do. Go ahead. Let me hear it.
A time where I got off track and got back on track. I think that when things are not going right, we definitely look into what shines the most. And at a construction company in Pennsylvania when COVID came around, and I didn't love that. I created a construction company for my husband, and I had this whole plan, this whole blueprint, and how things were going to go and how they were going to work. We made a decent amount of money. I made more money than I have in any given year, but I didn't love the work. I love dealing with the clients. I had the expectation that I was going to manage the company. And then I found myself changing toilets and laying down tile and doing things that I didn't want to do. There is amazing people who do amazing work, but that wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to deal with the people. And so I knew at the time I wanted to have my own business, and I knew that I wanted to give back to people in some way. But I also found out through doing that that wasn't the path that I was going to take. And so once we closed that company and we came back to Florida, it was time to do some soul searching. What is it that I know what the goal is? I know what I want to achieve. Well, how am I going to do that? There is 1,000 ways to do that. And so I went into real estate for a little bit. And after doing that for some time, I was like, you could make a business out of real estate, but if you're not very precise and concise and strategic, it's going to end up as a job. And that wasn't what I was looking for. And so I went back down. I had opened this consulting company in 2016, and I never did anything with it. And I got the company name. I did the initial work from it. And then in after I decided that real estate wasn't what I wanted to do, I sat there with the idea, okay, what are the potentials? And I went back to that. I went back to the consulting company, went back to starting over. That hasn't been all fun. Starting over is hard. But it is what needs to happen.
So do you feel like you're back on track now?
I am definitely back on track. There is a lot of shiny lights of things that I could be doing, but now I can say no to those. And I think that was hard in the beginning. There were a lot of things that I wanted to do that could generate money, but that I knew that I couldn't put my soul into it. And so now I see the things and I said, I see you. You look fun. At the beginning would probably be fun, but I'm going to have to say no to you now.
Wow.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and then just a quick fun thing that I wanted to add here, another insight, and that is that the yes is energy. When you say yes to something, that's energy. That's why Tony says, like, say yes, 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 yes. Because we've been told no 97,000 times. And that's a direct connection to our self-esteem. What I can do and what I can't do is directly connected to our self-esteem. So the key is, like, what you all three of you are mothers. Like, the key is, like, you gotta like give your kids more yeses than nos, because they're gonna be told no by society, by everything. So if you tell yes, tell them yes. You can do. You can't do this. You can't do this. But you can do this. You can do this, and 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 this.
It's easier said than done, Joe. It's definitely easier said than done.
Well, you have to start with you. Like, I have to start with me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what all the things I can't do. Okay, yes. Oh, low self-esteem. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do this. But I can do this and this and this and this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what can you do? Like, there was in Chicken Soup for the Soul. There was a story about a guy that he got into like 3 plane crashes or something crazy, and he was paraplegic, multiple paraplegic, in a wheelchair and everything. And he says, "Well, I can't walk anymore, I can't move my body anymore, but I can be a public speaker." You know what I'm saying? Like, that guy that he can't even, like, move his limbs now, but he can inspire others now. You know, yeah, more yeses than no. Like, give yourself more yeses than nos. When you're thinking nos, like, try to give yourself more yeses. Monica, do you have a story of a time that you got sidetracked and then you were able to get back on track? By the way, welcome, Monica. This is Brenda.
Hi, everyone.
And Suyan and Adriana.
Hi, everyone. Much love to everyone. Thank you, Joe. Can I define sidetracked in general, or?
Let's say you had a goal. You had a big goal in mind, something you really, really wanted, and then you got sidetracked. You went on a side quest, or you got distracted, and then you were able to get back on track, and then you accomplished the goal that you had. You were able to get what you wanted.
I think a lot of time I got sidetracked with my education, my personal development, and all of that. Many times, we have to do things, and then we let what we actually have to do. We leave it aside because we have to make a living, and so on. But how I see things is like, a map, and you have itinerary, right? I don't. Hopefully, it's connected, and it's connected to the question. But this is how I see things. I thought I got sidetracked many times, and I see now that life is like a map, and you have long itinerary and you have the short version. Some people get the short version, and I got the long one because I got often sidetracked. But it had to happen in order to get what I am today and become the person I am today. So yes, I did. The only time I didn't get sidetracked, I don't know if I say it right, the only time I didn't quit on myself, I think it's when I joined this, and I still got sidetracked, and it's all happening for us, it's like Tony says. And the only time I didn't get sidetracked, it was when I embraced truly the part of personal development and the part of giving. And by giving, I discover more of myself. And I stayed true to that identity because it was aligned with me. So I hope all of this makes sense to everyone. But I think, like Tony said, Tony said it's progress. So when we feel that we have some sense of progress, we get sidetracked much less. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So based on that, like, so what else do you like? We have three stories, but like let's try to get a clear story here. Like, or let's say, for example, when I was 26, I set a goal, and this is a very clear thing. It's a very clear goal. Like, I set a goal that I wanted to hit 30 countries. I wanted to go to 30 countries, and I wanted to do that before my 30th birthday. When I was 26, I had about 3.5 years to accomplish this goal, and then all I cared about was that. There's times that I got sick, times that I didn't have any money, times that I was unhappy with my existence in my life. But the main goal, the number one thing in my life was I need to get to 30 countries. I am going to get to 30 countries no matter what.
You get obsessed.
No matter what. No matter what. Like, that was the goal. So, I didn't have like a set plan. I didn't have a complete plan. It's like where I said, well, I'm going to go to this country and then that country and that one. No, I just said I'm going to go to 30 countries. And then opportunities started presenting themselves along the way. Like, the first thing was, like, I went with somebody from the crew that I knew, like a girlfriend I was dating at the time, and she lived in Canada. So we met at a Tony Robbins event when I Am Not Your Guru was screening, like they were doing like a screening. And then, like, I met up with her in New York, and then we drove to Toronto. And that was country number 5 because I'd already been to 4 countries. So I needed 26 more. So then we drove to Toronto. That was country number 5 and number 1 in my goal. The second thing is, like, I was in Miami because I had another group that I started at the time. And I was staying with some people that I met at the crew in UPW and stuff like that in Miami and Palm Beach area. And then I was staying with some people over there, just visiting. And then I had an opportunity to go to Costa Rica. And then from Costa Rica, then I had a connecting flight. I was gonna cheat. I was I'm gonna connect in Guatemala, and that would be 2 countries. So then I went to Costa Rica, connected in Guatemala. I didn't take the flight out, so I crossed borders from Guatemala, then El Salvador, Honduras, and Nicaragua. So I planned to go to 2 countries in that trip, but I wound up going to 5 or 6. Then the next trip, I just said, oh, I'm gonna go to London, and then from London I kept taking buses, and I hit like 7 countries. I went to Italy on another trip, and I did the same thing. I visited the Vatican. I counted the Vatican. I didn't know Vatican was its own country. And then I went to San Marino. That was its own country there. But it didn't happen like exactly how I thought. And I think one thing, another insight that I had today, and I think I would like your opinion on this too. Another insight is people say, "Oh, I'm a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist. Oh, I just want things to be perfect." That's not true. That's bullshit. And I'll tell you why. Because there's no such thing as perfection. Nothing is perfect. So what you really mean is I want it to be exactly like I want it to be. And if I can't get it exactly how I think it's going to be or how I want it, then I'm just not going to bother with it. So Art Williams has a quote, and then I'll open up the call out to this. Art Williams has a speech, the founder of the company called Primerica. He has a speech says, all you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough. We're so worried about like, oh, well, I want it like this or like this, but you really don't know how you want it. You think you do, but it's really just like confusion. It's not even clear. So, but anyways, that's just my opinion. I'll shoot it out to you guys. Because at the end of the day, it's you and it's me, and we're creating this brainstorming session, this cloud. So let's take it out to the cloud. Let me hear your voice on the cloud. Let me hear what kind of thoughts and air and breath you have to contribute to this cloud. Let's form it.
So it's funny that you didn't have like a plan, like you didn't schedule any country. You just were determined. How do you say determinado to do it?
Determined.
And horizontally, you have all the opportunities right there. But you didn't think about. I guess you feel like the good possibilities instead of thinking about what could be wrong.
Right.
And things happen to you. Like it happens to you. Maybe not the way you were expected. So that's where perfection is, fall. Like it's not how it wasn't how I expected, but it happened to you, and that's amazing, man.
Yeah, that's why I said on the last call I was talking about big believable goals. Because if you have a goal that's big, it's exciting. But then it has to be believable to you. Because if you can't believe it, then you're going to give up on it. So it's got to be a big but it's got to be believable to you. You got to be able to believe it, And if you believe it, then you start seeing the possibilities, the opportunities. But anyways, go ahead. Let me hear from you.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. Let me hear from you. Let's talk big believable goals. What is your big believable goal right now? Go ahead, Brenda. Oh, I thought you were raising your hand.
I want to say shout out to Adriana because she just made me like she asked some questions and it's like I sabotage my own self. Like I doubt my own self. Like I don't believe in my own self and my true potential. Like I'm always thinking, what will they say about me? What if I don't do this correctly? What if I don't, Like I'm always a head thinker. I'm thinking for others instead of thinking for myself. And when you just brought that, Joe, it's like, holy cow. It's like, woof. It's like I just have to believe in myself, do what I have to do. And if people like it, okay, they'll like it. And if they don't like it, then they'll say, you know what, Brenda, you just messed up. Do it this way or do it that other way, Instead of me overthinking and thinking ahead of what they might say or judge me for it, I overthink it too much. Thank you, Adriana. Thank you, Joe.
Right, yeah, like thinking, yeah, I mean, we all do that.
It takes 3 seconds. 3 seconds. That's all it takes for someone to think of you. That's all. Then after 3 seconds, they just go back to their own thoughts, their life, and so on. So it's everything that we make in our head.
And that's a great point. And that's like because like it's a fear, right? It's a fear of what it may think, but there's something deeper in that fear, and that is like you might be creating an enemy, But you can't be afraid of. Go ahead.
You know what? It just reminded me of something. It's like when we go deep into our inner child, our back, what caused this fear? My fear rooted through when I was in 8th grade. I'm a twin with a boy, right? And my twin brother and I were 8th grade and everything. And my father and my mother always thought that I was the smartest one, that I was la más saca,
Yeah.
And I believed it, And came 8th grade, we moved out of town. We went to another city, and I didn't like the change. I did not like it. I wanted to stay in White Plains where I had my friends and everything. And coming to a new city, building new friends and stuff, I did not like change. So I ended up failing that year. My brother ended up going to 9th grade. And my parents were like, "What happened? You're the smart one. We know that you're good at this. What happened?" And I don't know if that's where it comes from, but I feel like I failed at that part, So now it's like, this is where I feel like, okay, I'm going to get judged because if I don't do this thing right, I'm going to look like a failure, And you just have to be aware of your inner child and go back and try to remember where this root cause is sabotaging you.
And that was fuel. That fear was a fuel. You're just like, oh shit, if I don't finish this, that was fuel for you. So that's a positive use of fear. You know what I'm saying?
You were under your parents' expectation and validation. The thing is that right now you are an adult, like, I'm not that child anymore. The thing is that I think when you want to do something, you have to do it for you. Like, for me, that's the hard part. Like, no, I'm going to do this. It sounds selfish. I'm going to do this for me because I want to contribute, because I want to share with others, because this is for me. What happens, it will happen, Like, it's not going to be a failure, because you're doing it for yourself.
Thank you.
I'm on that boat, too. I'm 45 and do the same.
Yeah, so, oh shit, I lost Adriana. She's joining back in. So, Alchemy Business Consulting. Get it today. You have to get it today. You have to need some consulting, everybody. And also, let's
Got disconnected.
Emotional damage. Emotional damage. We interrupt you to promote the book of the emotional damage. Get it on Amazon today by Josias Andujar. He's a great author. So get the book today. And anyways, yeah. So Brenda, do you have any brands that you have to promote? Like, do you have a brand? Do you have a business or anything? Like,
well, right now I'm working on one. It's about flying high, the believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Trusting who you are, and just going deep diving on your true why. Why is it that you want to succeed in life? What do you want to build? What do you want to create? What's your passion, Because this is what I'm discovering, and I want to build that community where I can bring people and help them also discover their own self.
Okay, so let me ask you something. So you said flying high and then diving deep. So I need to hear how you connect those two things, because you're flying high and then you're diving deep. Like, what are you, an eagle? Are you diving deep to like hunt?
You're discovering who you truly are, and in order to do that, you have to deep dive. You have to find your root, even if it has to go past ancestors, like, holy cow, because you don't know. I mean, you don't know where all this is coming from, and the only way you can discover it is deep diving, discovering your true self, who you really are. Why are you the way you are?
Two words: authenticity and authority. Find your authentic self and have the authority over you. I'm gonna do this because this is my true self, and I'm gonna show it to the world.
Amen.
I love that. This podcast is also brought to you by Self Love Genie. Self Love Genie, it's a brand for divorcees to be able to win self-love back into their lives.
Fall in love with yourself.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Joe.
Fall in love with yourself. Oh man. Okay, so let's let's do a quick summary here. And I have this list here that I was writing. So I'm just gonna go through it, and I want you guys to, like, as I say stuff, I want you to see what sinks deep inside your mind, and then I want to hear from you. Again, I have somebody from California joining in, so it's a great time for me to summarize this right here. So welcome, Thui. We're about to summarize real quick, and then we're gonna get to the conclusion. So the core theme for today is inner alignment for power and purpose. And we spoke about goal setting. We spoke like how goal setting is important because our subconscious mind is 90% like of like our mind. So, and then we're here, this is our consciousness. We're in consciousness today. This is our conscious mind here. And then our conscious mind is the engineer, is the driver. The subconscious mind is the vehicle, the engine. And then the energy comes from emotions. And then we spoke about how we have to curate our environment, like in Atomic Habits. We have to curate the environment and pick our associations, pick our peer groups in order to stay on track. And we said some stories. We said some stories about how we were able to get back on track because our subconscious mind is the vehicle, and it's off track 90% of the time. We get distracted. We go on side quests all the time. So that being said, so you're building a personal model for personal growth and group leadership based on these powerful metaphors. We have the rocket, we have the engineer, the engine, the fuel, the target, which is the clear goal or the desired identity. And then we spoke about dragons too, like train your dragon, like the raw hidden power that must be trained and not feared. And like Tony Robbins' analogy or metaphor is the giant within, awaken the giant within. So the key insights is aligning your goal, your power, and your identity. The energy types, positive, negative, aggressive, empathetic. Sometimes anger can be a fuel, or sadness or fear. They can be great fuels, but you have to know how to aim it. Not get rid of it. You have to aim it in the right direction. The class clown, we spoke about the class clown. Why is he motivated to do the clowning? Because he's bringing joy between him and his friend. Shadow integration. Remember, like the shadow, don't get rid of the shadow. You integrate it into your being. Goal setting activates the subconscious like a servo mechanism. Self-correcting system, but it needs emotional fuel and repetition to work. And I have a bonus here for you. Daenerys Targaryen enters in the panel, and it tells you that from all that pain and all that gross like past, she was able to turn that into power, and she was able to conquer like the whole, like all the 7 kingdoms in Game of Thrones. So imagine that if Daenerys can do it. Like the weak lady, she was a weak girl, and she was able to become the most powerful woman in the 7 kingdoms. So now I wanna shoot it to you now. What comes to you here, and what are you able to contribute to this cloud of brainstorming that we're doing here today? And then we'll close out. We'll hear from every one of you, and then we'll close out the call. Go ahead, Monica. I just want you to tell me what came to you. What's in your heart right now? Did anything hit you from that whole conversation today? Because we're wrapping up the call here. So from the whole conversation today, what was it that hit you? Not here logically, but in your heart, like in your subconscious mind. Did anything hit you? Did anything feel different, or did you feel any shifts today?
Absolutely, but I think I was more. What caught my attention was the conscious mind. You said the conscious mind is the drive, or vice versa.
That it's a drive?
That the conscious mind is the drive, or the subconscious mind it's the drive.
It's the engine, yeah. The engine, it's the vehicle. The drive is the emotions, it's the energy. Go ahead, Thui. Let me hear from you, Thui. Welcome. I know you got something to say. You're over there quiet. I heard Andriana invited you. So how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm so sorry. Like, I just realized I was like super late because I had done my time calculation completely off.
Yeah. So for reference, so Thui's in California, so that's like 4 hours behind, I think. So you're super early over there.
It's 3, but somehow I was like in my brain, I was like, oh, it starts at 9. But now that I went to get up, I'm like, what the heck did I miss? And then I just realized, I'm like, oh my God, it was supposed to start at 8. I'm an hour late.
Yeah. It's totally fine. Like I just had a yoga session with somebody from India, so it's like 15 and a half hour difference. And then the other day we had like my friend Howard from he's in Philippines, so that's like 12-hour difference. So it's fine. Like, yeah, we forgive you.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice of you. So it's
Welcome.
so I hear what you guys say because I only hear the last part, and so I don't have the full picture to really to give you, any comment.
Right. Well, that's you went to UPW, right? You went to
Yeah, I did.
yeah.
I
So
did the whole UPW, Day with Destiny, live, all that. Yeah.
yeah. So the
So I
summary
did
the
it.
summary I just gave from the summary I just gave, I literally summarized the whole call. So we talked about the goal setting, servo mechanism, the integrating the shadow self, like the dragon, awaken the giant, like. But the main theme in the call was goal setting, the subconscious mind, and then being able to get back on track. Like maybe if you want to share, or if you can share with us, like give me a story of how you got back on track after you had, let's say you set a big goal in your past, and then you got off track, and then you were able to get back on track, and then you accomplish your goal.
Oh, now I'm on the spot.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little hard to. I have to think about that. I think. Well, one other thing that I want to ask you when you say setting goals on a subconscious level, that's not an easy thing because I feel like when you're setting goal on that level, that's calling into your intuitions of what is it that your soul want to do rather than what you think you're supposed to be doing. And I can share, I think for me right now, this past couple year when we started UPW, Adriana and I went to our very first one was I think 3 years ago, like 2021 or 2022, I forgot. And that kind of set like a whole journey for me of, learning to listen to my intuition more and really what does it, my inner Twee want, what does Twee soul really want? For me, my day job, I'm a realtor, and I'm also like a total driver and achiever. So always like setting goal is my thing. That's my job. Every year, what goal are we setting? And I don't just have like one goal for business. I have a goal for like health and fitness, for relationship. I have 4 like different category of goals. So like goals are my thing. And I think especially last year and this year, like after Day with Destiny, when I was like, what does my soul really want to do? Is real estate truly the thing that I want to do for the rest of my life? Is that my calling? So that has been more of my struggle. So I couldn't even set a goal. And I do set goal for my real estate business, but then like that goal doesn't call to me as it used to be anymore, because I'm like, there's something else I feel that maybe I am looking for. I don't know. And that's part of like even a self-discovery of trying to see what is it that would bring out the passion, right? Because I think I can set goals, but then like I know exactly what I need to do to reach those goals, but then a lot of them like I don't really want to do it. and with goals, like for me, part of being a realtor, we prospect, right? Like, and I've been in real estate now like 8 years, and I try everything, whether it's open house, mailer, networking, and I found that actually prospecting and cold calling is the most get a client and the cheapest, but it's also the hardest because you're facing rejection all the time. And it was so funny. Was it yesterday or the other day when I was telling Andrea, I'm like, I'm ready to quit real estate, and she's like, what? Tell me more. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm gonna back up from that. That was just spur of the moment. It just came out.
Well, she quit real estate, so I mean, why can't you quit?
Different paths though.
Yeah, no, so I got a little opinion here. So like, cause I think this call, like, similar energies attract, and like what I heard from you, I heard me. I'm also at a point to where, like, yes, I got tons of choices of things I can do, and they all revolve around sales. I can go right now and go door to door and find some restoration work. I could go and do petitions, like. I can do that, and I can make money today. I can make $2,000-3,000 in a week, if like, just if I focus on these things. But I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? So right now, this is where the discovery process is for me too. So this is why I started this call, because I was like, all right, well, if I'm gonna do my journey, well, I might as well have other people join me on it as well. You know. So on your end, like, there's Derek Sivers. I've been talking with this new person. Derek Sivers is like an author, and like he's got this great quote, and is like a lot of people, like, he had a company, CD Baby, and he sold it, and he's now retired. He made like 20-30 million from it. And he said that, like, a lot of people are, like, let's say in their 30s, 40s, and 50s or 60s, and they're doing the same work they were doing since all their life, because that's all they know how to do, and they don't want to start a new game. They can do anything right now. Let's say they're free, like, you're financially free right here, or you have enough space to discover something else. But the reason they're doing the same thing they were doing before, they become the guy, like this guy, like, let's say, for example, like, people who can't reinvent themselves, they're doing the same thing because that's all they know how to do, and they don't want to start and learn a new game, because you have to start from the bottom at each and every single time, and that's crazy. But it's like, why not? Like, it's a game, like, it's a new game. Let's just do it. Like,
Not because it sucks being new or something. It sucks not knowing. When you know, it's your identity too, right? So in order to reinvent yourself, you have to let go of some things that you knew quite well, you were known for, and so you have to leave that behind. And let's not kid ourselves. That's not easy. It's not easy to deprogram yourself to become someone new.
well, I'll tell you what. It's I'll have a reframe for that. It's not easy, but it's actually is easy to do and easy not to do. Just a little reframe there. It's easy to do, easy not to do, because everything that needs to be done you can do, and anything you can do is easy. But it's also easy not to do it.
It's more easy not to do it because you're comfortable where you are, right?
That's right.
It's easier. No?
But what is so hard for us to make something? Let's say new, but it's a calling for our soul. Like, what is so freaking hard? Like, man, I know it's about identity. That's what has happened to me at the podcast, right? But why is so freaking hard? What I'm afraid of? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's my life. I need to write it. I need to take the eating, right?
Well, have you taken the time to be in silence? Because that was your thing.
A lot.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay. Yeah.
I just finished the first episode, and that sold me. Like, damn, I'm getting there. That's me. So, but it took time, right? It takes like, what, 1 year? I'm on this. But it's so hard to give us that change to us. Why?
Sometimes
Why is it so hard?
sometimes you're just holding on to. So there's a meme that, like, have you guys seen the meme with the rope that it says, like, sometimes, like, let it, like, holding on hurts more than letting go, but
Letting you go, yeah.
but you don't want to let go because you're afraid. You just
And it's right there. The floor is right there.
just let go, like, let go, like.
Yeah.
Well, I think there is a story, or an analogy that comes from that, and it's like when you have a toothache. You know that you gotta go to the dentist, and you know that if you go to the dentist and get that tooth pulled out, the pain would succeed. But first, you gotta go through an immense amount of pain in order to get to the other end. And so it has to hurt enough first, where the tooth pain becomes unbearable for you to be willing to go to the dentist. And then you're like, oh, why didn't I do this before? But it has to hurt enough first. And so Tony would say, pain is part of life. And for me, I think yesterday I came to a realization, and that was that I get overwhelmed when I have a lot of things that I gotta take care of. And so I have this belief, or I realized yesterday, I came to the awareness that I believe, or somewhere programmed in there is I believe that I have to be in peace in order to do the things that I need to do when it comes to the business. I cannot be in turmoil because I cannot, it's hard for me to sit still and do monotonous tasks when I am not at peace. And so the challenge for me is to do it imperfect under the rain, to be able to dance under the rain imperfectly. And so that's the challenge. And now that I have that awareness, it's like I have some decisions to make. I was having a conversation with Suyen this morning, and once you gain the awareness, you cannot blame lack of clarity of not making a decision or not picking a choice because you don't know. When you know, now you're forced into picking a box. But you gotta pick the good side and the bad side of whatever decision you make.
You have to choose, yeah.
Yeah. So you have to choose.
Oh, you want to remain the same, ignorant? Or you want to
that's
go
the
for it?
problem. You can't go back. You can't go back.
Exactly, you can't go back. Once you know, it's like, oh man,
Once you know, you know. So it's like you, Joe, you know that you could make money going door to door and selling things because you are a great storyteller, therefore a great salesman. You can connect with people easily, like someone else I know. And but you also know that you want a business that doesn't depend on you. And that's one of the reasons why you have started this podcast. And so what is the pain that you have to go through, because through it is the only solution, in order to go to the other side? Who's your dentist?
Who is my dentist?
Who's the dentist? You gotta identify the dentist first.
Doctor.
For Twee, just because I know her well, it's cold calling. For me, it's monotonous task. It's going to do tedious, monotonous task when I'm feeling overwhelmed and I'm feeling that at that point I don't want to do it. And so that's my dentist in this instance. So I gotta go sit there feeling like crap, feeling that I don't know enough, feeling that I may make a mistake and do it anyway.
Courage. That's courage. Doing the things even if you are feeling not afraid.
Not only courage, but discipline.
Hey, by the way,
sometimes it's easier not to do it.
Yeah,
it's easier to get distracted with other things.
By the way, who's your dentist, Adriana? Who's your...
I got to say something. Discipline for
I
me
think.
is really
Wait. Before you go, I think.
Military, right?
Still though, I mean, even though, see, that's the thing is that people think that because I was in the military, discipline is really easy for me, but no.
But
Like,
discipline
I did what I had to do. I did the bare minimum, not because I wanted to, but that's just the way I did stuff, you know? And I didn't get scolded. I didn't get punished. Because I was doing what I needed to do, right? I did the bare minimum. Was that what I really wanted to do? No. I wanted to become a sergeant first class, master sergeant, whatever, before retirement. Did I reach those goals as the rank that I wanted? No. Do I feel good about it? No, I don't. You know? But discipline for me is really hard.
Brenda, before I got disconnected, my Wi-Fi went out. I heard you say
so rude. You're so rude. You just leave the call, come back. Monica did the same thing. It's so rude, you guys. So rude, Adriana. Rude. You're getting disconnected. And then you're...
Anyway, as I was saying, Brenda...
Jesus Christ!
You were talking about being... sometimes our parents, in their infinite wisdom, And we as parents, we do similarly to what our parents do. They give us an identity that sometimes is hard to refute. And when you were sharing your story about how your mom treated you, and it immediately dawned on me something that sometimes I do with one of my kids, and that is that we give them unconditional approval when they behave in a way that we expect them to, and therefore conditioning them to not make any mistakes and to just behave in the same way that is expected. And that it's a hard thing to break from.
Expectations. So now the expectations brings judgments, and you feel like you're being judged all the time.
But the only person who judges you. And so it is easier to do things when someone is holding you to a whole higher standard than it is when you gotta hold yourself.
Yeah,
And so at some point you have to take, well, I would suggest taking the awareness that you get to be the parent to that little girl.
Thank you. I do have to. This is my story now, and I get to write this story, and I get to take control of my story.
One thing, focus on what you have done with your kids, your family. No, focus on that too. And we never say, "Good girl." We never say that to us. Nobody's gonna say it to us anyway.
Yeah.
But it's good to say, "I'm good at this. I'm good at that. I'm good at this. I have done this." I do that pretty much every day.
That is
Yes, I went to the gym. Yes, I finished the freaking laundry today. You know, I do that every day, and that helped me a lot.
It is hard to recognize when you've done something good because you expect that expectations. You expect that from others. You know, you expect others to tell you, "Oh, you've done a good job. Excellent. Oh, wow, look where you've been at now." But because you don't hear it in your own self, and you don't say it to your own self.
Yes, yes.
Well,
And when somebody say it, you say, it sounds fake, you know?
Yeah.
And somebody say, "Great job." I'm like, you know, here at work, let's say, "Good job." I'm like, "Yeah, right."
But here's the thing. It has different effects for different people. So we get to choose the poison.
Ouch. Yeah, it is so true. It's like, yeah, you just have to awaken that giant, Joe. Awaken that giant. Discover who you truly are and the greatness you have in you and yourself, within you.
Yep. Just tell yourself, like, good girl. Like, say it.
Good girl.
Good guy.
Say good girl.
Interesting choice of words. You have to.
That's right. Tap your song. Tap your song. Yeah.
We do have the self-love genie here to guide us through that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And how to fill our own cup. But we have to be aware that the power that we give others, whether it's if we're looking for their validation or we're looking for them to praise us, that is the powers that they hold over us. And so, not to say that we don't need the love of others, but at the same time, we got to be able to give whatever language our love is. We got to be able to give ourselves that. And instead of expecting it from someone else, because
If I'm fine either way, if I'm okay either way. You bring Adriana so much wisdom, so much every time, and I'm genuinely impressed, really.
well, thank you.
Generally and specifically. I am specifically.
Genuinely, not general.
This Joe. You see it, Twee?
Yeah. Yo, so okay, so I think a good thing to do here to end the call. I think we would, for the new members, let's do the disc profile with our expert Adriana, because she's the disc profile expert
Oh, I'm not.
on this call. Tui, have you taken the disc profile? Have you taken the disc profile?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so what was your thing? What were your main ones?
I am a high I and a high D.
How about you, Joe? What are yours?
I think I'm a I, and then the creative, and then as a close third I have the D. But like I don't think
That's what the test said, or what you feel? figure?
I'm just figuring it because the test, like, I think I forgot what it said, but like, I mean, it's definitely I. I mean, we already spoke about this, but I think yeah, it could be D, but it's a close between second and third is like D and the artist was the artist one. It's the C, right?
So the not necessarily.
Okay.
So what I think from the definition that I have given, I think you have focused. The C likes to focus a lot on details, and that's one other quality that makes them artistic. So every single letter has artistic qualities. It's just the C hones in on all of the details. They like to they're more data driven. They're seeking for a specifics.
Okay. So then it will be ID, because the yeah. So
That would be my guess.
I only I only go to the other two because I know I need to. I don't have like a support staff yet that will take care of that. So I will go to those two personality types, out of necessity.
Well, we all have, in order to connect with other people and maintain and establish different relationships, we do have to navigate all four. That's what it's there for, not necessarily to judge other or to predict other, but in order to be able to speak their language is what I like to say.
Hey. Oh, so but what about you, Brenda? What's your disc profile?
Oh, I don't know. I was trying to search it up. I remember doing one with Tony Robbins, but I couldn't find it right now. I wanted to look for it.
I'll send you the link, Brenda, so that you can do
Adriana, what will be your educated guess, Adriana, for Brenda?
Not doing that.
You're the expert. You're the expert. Come on.
Nope, I'm not the expert.
As Anna said, we all have to learn how to speak everyone else's language in order to understand each other. Like, we do have a primary one that we go for, but if we are able to learn others, and it's not only language, it's also, because I went to like this other self-development course where it's about, the promoters and like the self-service and the, like there was four of them, and you sit down with your group, but it's kind of like all of a sudden it's like you see people going from one group to another, because when certain questions arise, they go to those other zones, and it's like, holy cow, what's going on over here? Why are you going to the other group? But because there's certain things that triggers you to go, because they're understanding, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay. So well, let's end here. Let's end with a word. So what was your word of the day? I think mine is gonna be, I think I'm gonna go with the same one, initiative. For me, it will be initiative. So what will be one word? Yeah, one word to close out the call for you.
For me, it's gonna be authenticity.
Jesus, I wanted to say authenticity. So I'm gonna keep it with you. Authenticity, yes.
Awakening.
I like that word.
That's powerful.
I think I'll go with courage.
Courage. I like that one too.
Hey.
Love it.
Wow, I love that. So if we can put these words together and then join in, let's all join in and just have like a quick send off. Let's have a quick send off here. So if you guys don't mind closing your eyes real quick, and we'll do a quick send off and then we'll end the call. So imagine these little screens on your laptop or your phone being absorbed by your essence. Like each and every one of these people gave you their energy, and then now you're gonna take it all in and process it. So let's process all that. Let's bring it in, and let's imagine how we can harness this energy and we can process it into some action that would actually start being productive in the ways that we need it to be. We spoke about goal setting. We spoke about the subconscious mind. We spoke about getting back on track. And what I want you to take from this, and for me as well, like for all of us, is that like it doesn't matter like how off track you feel you are. If we choose to decide that we're gonna get back on track today, then we are. it's about deciding. It's not about how you feel or where you feel you are. It's about the decision to make. That's why Tony would say it's like your changes don't happen like in a long span of time. It happens instantaneously, right now. If you decide that you are going to go somewhere and you hold that, then you've changed. That's you transforming. So you can have a transformation right now just by deciding. And I'll leave you with that. So thank you guys for joining. Let's next call, it will be next Wednesday, same time, Thui, same time. Just remember California time. And then yes, we'll be posting this on YouTube, and also I'll be sending out a copy to each and every one of you by email. So Adriana, just send it to Thui, like after I send it over, and then yeah. And next time for homework, I want to hear, if you join us next time, I want to hear uh, what was your decision, and it like, and what's going to be the process, or what's been the process like of either deciding. If you haven't decided yet, or if you didn't decide today, then what is it that you're trying to decide for the future. So thank you guys for joining.
Send us links so we can show the love and support in the YouTube for the podcast.
Dracarys. Bye.
Dracarys!
Dracarys.
Dracarys!
Bye bye.
Bye guys. Bye guys. Bye.
Despierta, la alarma solo odio la mañana, pero con sonrisa falsa todo en calma.